how do you think government policies are aligning with us, or how is the government supporting us?
We want a policy stability at any cost. PLI is a big, contribution for the sector. So we want this policy to continue, because if we study the overseas markets like China and Vietnam, today what will be the policy after 10 years or 20 years.
Okay, so if we are pushing exports so much, so how do we make sure that domestic markets do not feel ignored?
See, export is something when you fulfill the domestic requirement.
A person with so many industry experience, so many things. So what is the toughest industry according to you? Welcome to NB News Network. This is Lavanya, and today here we are finally with the one and only Mr. Desh Raj Bhadana. He is a leader, he is a visionary, and I'm very excited for this conversation that we are going to have today, because he is the one who is going to take Indian mobile and electronics industry to the next level. We are getting future ready. So welcome to our show.
Thank you, Lavanya. Thank you, NB News. I am Desh Raj Bhadana, heading Mobile and Electronic Device Export Promotion Council. So I am an Indian Army veteran, and then within the Army and after leaving Army, so I worked in defense, space, telecom, and now I am working with the Mobile and Electronic Device Export Promotion Council. So we'll be happy to answer to your questions as the interview goes on.
Of course. So I'm very interested for today's interview, because we are going to talk about technology. We are going to talk about India's mobile and electronics industry and the future and the vision. So there's a lots of excitement. So let's begin. Talking about you personally, you have covered so many fields, right? Starting from military as a soldier, you have covered defense, you have covered space, you have covered telecoms. Someone who has already covered so many industries and yet now ready for MEDEPC, the mobiles and electronic industry. How did you end up here, and what is your goal?
Okay, I start from my military life. So transforming a civilian to a soldier, it's itself a big challenge, and I thank the military service that they gave me the chance and to serve for the nation. Starting from my training to in Goa, then posted at Army headquarters. I served 2 years overseas also in Indian military training team Bhutan, and then 2 years in Rashtriya Rifles. So it's all full of challenges, and the one thing that I learned in my military service is that killing instinct. That is the only thing which takes you to your career heights. So after leaving army, then I joined the telecom body, which was Cellular Operators Association of India, and during that was a different kind of a challenge, because that time 2G electromagnetic fields, radiation, and lot of issues were there. A lot, and we resolved those EMF issues of the industry, and so how the telecom sector grown from there. And after leaving COI, I served in the Space Industry Association. So in 2020, space was just opened for the private. Earlier, it was within the boundaries of the ISRO headquarters. Now, it was opened for the private, and that time there was no handholding of the startups ecosystem in the space sector. So we ensured to handhold the startups, bring in investments, and to make conducive policies which can enable the space sector. So, and from there, I moved to Mobile and Electronic Devices Export Promotion Council. Obviously, the space was one of the most passionate tenure, but ultimately you have to keep on growing and keep on moving, and the sectors which are challenging. So we saw that there is a huge potential in the exports in the mobile and electronics sector. So I moved to MEDPC, and from there I just joined 6 months back. So when I joined, so organization was not very well structured. So we make it a complete scratch to now what you see today. So from the social media, from the website, from the forming the committees, various committees, and then with the hiring the team. So I have the team of members, Anjali and Radha there. So with the team, we are growing and we are working.
Full. I mean, a man with so much industry experience. We have so many industries that you are covering, and I mean, it is something unbelievable as well. Who can expect that a military soldier ends up being in the electronic industry along with space and technology? I mean, that is something, it's very different industries. So, what is the toughest challenge that you faced, or what is that one industry that you wish that things could change?
every industry has its own challenges and own dynamics. So when I was in the military, so military has altogether different challenges. When I was posted in Rashtriya Rifles Battalion, so fighting counter-terrorism operations, and then overseas training the Bhutanese army, and then when I was in army headquarters, so making policies for the military. So all industry has, or the government has its own dynamics. And when I moved to the space sector, space was opened for the private, and then there was no policy, nothing was there. So we contributed a lot in the policy making and all. And then before that, I was in telecom. So telecom has its own different kind of the challenges. So every industry, and now MEDEPC has big responsibilities on its shoulders, because now the PM has set the target of 500 USD billion manufacturing, domestic manufacturing, and 200 billion of the exports by 2031. So this is the roadmap of the next 5 years.
So how do you think that MEDEPC can fulfill or align with PM's vision?
Okay, so since Mobile and Electronic Devices Export Promotion Council, this has been founded and for the dedicatedly for the sector only. So which is completely taking care of the mobile and electronic sector, whether it's imports or exports or the mapping. So first of all, we have to map the industry. We have to find out the gaps, what are the gaps, and then policy enablement. So these are the things where MEDPC's vision is aligned with Prime Minister's vision, which can fulfill the 500 billion.
So since we
manufacturing.
already know that India is aiming right now to become the electronics hub for the world, so how do you think MEDEPC can contribute for the same, or how can we make this change? And if we can, let us say we are all ready to fulfill this mission, so what are the challenges that are stopping us for that?
In this matter, what I say is mindset is everything. So earlier there was maybe lack of vision, or mindset was not that. So our honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi has given the vision to the industry. He's given the full-fledged support from the government side. So once a person has decided to achieve something in this field, and now electronics component manufacturing scheme, which was lacking earlier, so the backward integration, that ECMS scheme will help a lot in backward in, and then domestic value addition. So by next 1 year, we'll have our own chipsets, and that will meet the requirement of the electronics industry.
Wow, that's wonderful. I mean, we are going to manufacture more now.
Yes.
Okay, so I'm excited for that too. So if you're talking about exporting, right? So which global markets do you think we can target more?
See, US is the biggest market for the mobile and electronics.
Yes.
But yes, so we can focus on the Middle East and Africa and all these regions, and Vietnam, Thailand. So we are exporting to China also. Now I'll just give you some of the exciting figures.
Definitely.
31st March 2025, this financial closing. So we exported $38.6 billion of the electronics exports.
Wow.
And mobile alone was $24.1 billion, which is all-time high. And the electronics has come up as the third largest export commodity. Out of that, mobile alone is the single largest export commodity from India. We surpassed China in exporting to the United States.
That's
so
a
right
great
now
achievement.
we are in the electronic sector, we are the third in the world, because first China, second Vietnam, and third is India. So after we'll be number 2, surpassing Vietnam.
Wow, I mean, this is something I think the world needs to know this, that India is really developing now, and we are coming to the second position, and we hope to reach first as well.
Yes.
Definitely, that's our mission after all. So since we are already talking about mission and fulfilling the vision of MEDEPC especially and the industry in India, so how do you think government policies are aligning with us, or how is the government supporting us?
Okay, so this is a very good question, and the government policy, we want a policy stability at any cost. PLI is a big, contribution for the sector. So we want this policy to continue, because if we study the overseas markets like China and Vietnam, today, what will be the policy after 10 years or 20 years? So the policy stability, continuity is something which can.
So do
create
we
the
have that consistency?
Yes. Now,
We do? Okay.
since we have the visionary leaders like Shri Piyush Goyal ji is the Commerce Minister, Shri Ashwini Vaishnav is the Minister of Electronics and IT, and Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji. So we have the leadership, and we strongly believe that the leadership is there, that the policy continuity and policy stability will remain there.
Definitely. So since we are talking about, technology and mobiles, so how is technology developing? Because we know that right now we are living in the times of Gen Z, and AI has, overpowered many fields, many sectors, many industries. How do you think AI is beneficial? First of all, is it a boon or a bane for us especially? And also, if it is beneficial, how do you think that MEDPC can, use technology, or how much we can expect to grow? Or is there any new discovery that we are having?
Okay, so whenever any new technology is evolving, so I take it in a very positive way. In 90s, if we see that if the computers come, then people will have the jobless and all these things. So there were a lot of rumors, but after that, you see the globalization, and then a lot of investment came in, and then that was actually growth story of India started from there, right?
Right.
So any technology or any support which is coming up from the technology side, so it's always complementing the existing ecosystem. So artificial intelligence, which is now a crucial tool, we can use this in a big way in exports tracking and mapping, and artificial intelligence can also be recommend some of the markets. You can put in some keywords in the portals, and then you can get the which are the markets that are evolving and where India can focus on.
Definitely, we can do that for sure, and I hope that we, can achieve our goals for here. So, what is the smarter route? Is it export first, domestic later, or is it first let's fix the domestic, then we go global?
Okay, so from the MEDC perspective, so we focus on both the sides, right? So we have to make the balance. Initially, obviously, we have to meet our domestic requirement. So once we meet the domestic requirement, then we can encourage the existing players to focus on the exports, to
Exports.
by incentivizing them by drawback and road tap, these kind of the incentive schemes. So the the manufacturers, they can start exporting to the overseas
So,
markets.
what are the domestic problems that we're addressing here?
Right now, we don't see much problems in terms of the domestic manufacturing, because the electronics clusters and there's PLI schemes, and then all these schemes are there, and now the government is focusing on the automatic transfer route. So we don't see as many challenges in terms of the domestic. Yes, there is a huge requirement of the infrastructure. So what we are focusing on, and the government is very keen. The states are very welcoming in developing the infra, and I'm sure we'll meet the targets what the Prime Minister has set.
Okay, so ESG, sustainability, carbon footprints, these are, Indian manufacturers. So, are they really ready right now, or do we need some more warming up still to do?
See, there is always a scope for the improvement, but yes, the electronic sector. So there is a special, CSR responsibility of the corporates, that you have to do the recycling and e-waste. So e-waste and recycling is a big market, and that helps in the circular economy. So the companies are very focused on it, and they are meeting the requirement.
Okay, so if we are pushing export so much, so how do we make sure that domestic markets do not feel ignored?
See, export is something when you fulfill the domestic requirement.
Yes.
So domestically, because the product which is lying just next to your door, it's going to come into the market first in your hand, right? And then it goes to the, so whenever export increases, so sometimes it is not ignoring, but it's complementing the domestic manufacturing also, the domestic markets, because domestic markets had its own dynamics, and whenever we are exporting, so they are also charged up.
So the domestic markets are also growing through
Also
exports.
growing,
So
yes.
it's both ways.
Both ways.
So critics say that India is just assembling phones for manufacturing. What is your say to that?
2015, 14, you can say.
Okay.
We were completely import dependence, and I'll share some of the figures with you. And at that time, import was almost negligible. But after 2014, 15, then the policies came in, and then in 2021, when the PLI came, so you can see the boost in terms of the domestic manufacturing, and that also enabled the exports. So earlier we were there, but now yes, critical components, there's a dependency, and the government is very keen. Like Tata has set up the facility in Dholera. So once that chips or the semiconductors is there,
So now we
so
are
your
trying to make
import
everything
dependency,
raw,
yes,
organic.
yes.
Okay, finally. Already talking about, making raw things and being more organic and exporting more things. So it's also said that exports promotion mission has been approved by the cabinet. Is that true? Please tell us more about this mission.
That was something, much awaited move by the
Yes.
Honorable Prime Minister, and we all thank the Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji for getting it approved by the cabinet on 12th of November, just 2 days back. And it is a good time that you are here to know about it.
Yes.
So this scheme is a credit guarantee scheme for exporters, CGS you can say, and there are 25,000 crore of the amount that has been allocated over a period of next 5 years. So that is also again aligned with the Prime Minister vision of reaching to 200 USD billion exports. So this is something which will support the MSMEs, non-MSMEs, new exporters. So scheme is very good, and government is also very proactive. So now I'll request all the manufacturers who are manufacturing domestically through NB News that you should focus on the getting the benefit of all these schemes and the export missions.
So we've heard that you had a special discussion with certain members, and it was regarding, ACTA's discussion. So can you tell us more about what was discussed and what was the vision?
Okay, so in that matter, I thank our Vice Chairman Sri Jasbir Singh, who is the Chairman and CEO of Ember Enterprises, and it was completely his directions that he was taking it into, that we should focus on the air conditioners exports. And thanks to Pankaj Mahendroji, he's the chairman of India Cellular and Electronics Association. So both of them, we have the leadership, so they are very much focused in nation building. So electronics is not only mobile phone and these things, right? So it's a complete vertical. Lot of verticals are adding to it. So AC exports is one of the verticals. Now we have very negligible in the AC exports. So now today we had a very good meeting of the task force. So then again this task force was launched by the Honorable Minister Shri Piyush Goyal ji during our AGM on 29th of October in Vanija Bhavan. So Honorable Minister has launched this AC export task force, and we are very much excited to get the results of it. So as a follow-up item of that, so today there was a meeting of the task force, and then it was a first meeting, and during the meeting the roadmap was set up. What are the gaps, disability gaps? What are the markets? What are the standards that we are not meeting in according to the international? So that whenever we are bringing in all those things to the WTO or the FTA negotiations, so we can meet those requirements. These are the, and then secondly, we are also trying to do a deep study of the Thailand market. In 2018, just 7 years back, Thailand was also zero. There was no export from there. Now they are capturing the 16% of the global market in air conditioner export in just 7 years.
Okay.
So these are
I think that is something people don't really know about.
yeah. So that are the benchmarking success that we need to study. In fact, we can study the China market also and the Thailand market. So Thailand is something which can be identified, and the gaps wherever we can meet, because China, what they're doing, we don't know about that, right? But some part we can take from them also.
Of course, we need to fulfill our mission.
Yes.
Okay, so since we are talking about electronics and ACs and other technologies as well, so are we including drones as well?
Yes, because one one keyword that we always use, the strategic electronics. So strategic electronics is one thing which is complementing to the defense, space, drones, all these technologies are used everywhere. Electronics is used everywhere. In fact, EVs, all these product lines where the technology is there, and the electronics is an integral part of the defense space and
of course, what else
drones.
can we expect from a man who has already been in so many industries? So you yourself has been in all these industries, and now we can see all the electronics growing, technology growing, all the industries combining together. So since we're already talking about all the combinations, so let's say if I meet you in 2030, so what are the 3 achievements that can we expect?
Okay, so by 2030, if we are meeting again, so I'll maybe we'll have our multiple location offices of the MEDEPC. There are clusters in Andhra Pradesh, Tamil Nadu, Telangana, Karnataka, and then Uttar Pradesh. So we will have our own regional office in all those clusters. This is one thing, because those regional offices will facilitate whatever the challenges that the exporters who are sitting in those clusters, so that instantly that can be resolved. Secondly, because by 2030 or 31, the target which has been set, so we are confident, because till now we have achieved all the targets what was set for the past year, right?
Congratulations.
So we, in terms of the mobile and electronics, we achieved those targets, and we are hoping that we'll achieve this target of the 180 to 200 billion of the exports in the electronics.
Exports, yeah. So since we already know that India is one of the largest users when we are talking about mobile phones specifically, right? So India is one of the largest users. So since we already have the biggest consumers, so why do we still need MEDEPC?
Okay, so there are industry bodies and
Yes.
industry associations. So primarily, the industry associations, they do the policy making or regulatory issues domestically. But when it comes to the exports, so you need a dedicated commodity division, which Mobile and Electronic Device Export Promotion Council for the this segment, and you have apparels, you have other verticals also. So there are 38 export promotion councils for their respective commodities. So for
So
this
it's like
commodity,
MEDEPC is going to be the head of the entire mobile and electronics industry in
yes,
India,
yes, yes,
right?
yes, yes.
Okay, wow.
And all the PCBs, semiconductors, all these HS codes are with us now.
So everything,
Everything, mobile, IT
all
hardware,
the technology,
all the technologies.
everything.
Yeah.
Okay, so we are not leaving anything. Okay, so do you think so? AI is there, technology is there, and you being from MEDPC, we are launching so much. So what time period can we expect for India to become the electronics hub?
Okay, so by 2030, maybe by 2029, we'll have significant of the electronics hub in terms of the manufacturing and exports. But yes, by 2031, it's going to create the history. And the mission 2047, which is Viksit Bharat. So
Viksit
you will
Bharat,
see
yes.
that Viksit Bharat will be actually Viksit Bharat with the artificial intelligence, technology, and the electronics.
That's interesting. So, do you think somewhere, some critics also talk about technology being a little harmful or AI being a little harmful? So, what is your take on this?
So it's always knife
Two
and
ways, yeah.
waterman's story. So if you want to cut the waterman, so it's a good use, right? But
Right.
if you want to use that knife for some other purposes, so that is also a different story. Similarly, the technology is always help. I'm a very big supporter of the technology, and it should be there. So I don't see any negatives, but it depends upon the usage.
Okay, so from the founder itself, can we have a single message that you would like to give to the viewers watching this, to India, to everybody in the mobile and electronics industry? A very specific message that you yourself are promising because we are recording this. So, any specific message, please, on camera.
Uh, Only one message that I really, which is very close to my heart, and I want to give it to the industry. We should focus on Indian brands. Some
Indian
Indian
brands,
brands,
yes.
4 or 5 brands should come up front. If more than that come, that will be great. Otherwise, we need at least 4 or 5 Indian brands, and MEDPC is committed to take those brands to the global level. So this
So
is the
Indian
commitment of
brands
Dasha.
of, you mean Indian
Any
mobile phone
mobile phone,
brands,
hearable,
technology?
wearable,
Yeah, we
lifestyle.
don't have many brands, and we
Yeah,
just
yeah.
know of 2-3 brands that maybe are
Yes,
not really working right
yeah.
now. Okay, so we are going to launch Indian brands in mobile and technology, and that is your promise. You are doing your best to take them to the next
Yes,
level.
yes.
Okay, so I'm very excited for this. So let's see what happens in the future. And it has been amazing meeting you. And India is growing, and we really hope that electronics and mobile industry technology does build up, and we are able to together fulfill the mission of Make in India, as well as being the electronics hub. So all the best to you, and thank you so much. It has been really honored to talk to you, so thank you so much.
Thank you, Lavanya. Thank you, NB News, and thank you, Manish Thakurji, because he's the man who forced me to come on this platform. And one thing that we want to also, maybe I'm sorry, I just taking 2 minutes of yours on the awards night, NB Excellence Awards night. We want to do a session on the which can align with the Prime Minister's vision of the 500 USD billion manufacturing and the 180 to 200 billion of the exports. So maybe if you can allow us, we would like to use
Surely.
the NB News digital
NB
platform.
Excellence Awards, yes.
So during
So
the,
definitely we
can
are, you
cover
are
some
already
session.
there. Yeah, right. So he is already going to be there at NB Excellence Awards 2025, and we are very honored to welcome you. And we are ourselves excited because there is going to be an amazing panel discussion regarding the future and some interesting hot topics as well. So can you tell us a little bit about the topics that we are going to cover?
Okay, so the topic would be you said self-reliance in electronics and mobile, right? So by 2031, what the government or the honorable prime minister has set the target of the USD 500 billion of the manufacturing and 180 to 200 billion of the exports. So we want to conduct a session by bringing in the industry leaders at one platform, and then we would like to know their views, and their views also very organic.
So what
So
are the
that can also
brands
set-
that we can expect in the panel discussion?
You'll have the brands from the mobile industry, from the hearable, wearable, from the air conditioners, from the consumer electronics. So panel is going to be a good.
Definitely. So stay tuned for that panel discussion
Yeah.
because we are having various brands, mobile brands, technology brands, and as you mentioned, electronics brands. All of them are going to be there, and we are going to actually discuss the future of India and some certain hot hidden topics as well. So stay tuned for that, and I am really eager to meet you
Hidden
again.
topic, and one hidden launch is also there, which will be launched at the Excellence Awards only. So we are not going to disclose that, but you have to stay tuned to know about that launch.
Definitely. I'm very excited. Thank you so much. It
Thank
has
you.
been on.
Thank you.